Hey everybody, Tim here with Chucky. The 8th movie for the DC animated movies, Under the Red Hood, 2010. One of my absolute favorites. I absolutely fucking love this movie. Like, you have no idea how much I love this movie.
He convinced me we were watching something completely different when he said Under the Red Hood. You know what I mean?
I don't know what that means, but whatever. So, as usual, I'll start kind of with the cast. Bruce Greenwood plays Batman. He was in Star Trek: The Kelvin Universe. He was in what's the Nicolas Cage movies? The National Treasure movies.
Yep.
Or he was in the second one as the president. He's done a ton of stuff. He's been everywhere. Jensen Ackles, I think is how you say his name. I don't even know. Most people, I think, know him from Smallville
and Supernatural.
He did some little TV show like that nobody fucking watched called Supernatural.
Yeah. Okay. Shut the fuck up.
John DiMaggio, who is one of my favorites. I've met him a couple of times as the Joker, who most people I probably feel like know him as Bender, from Futurama.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris as Dick, aka Nightwing. And then one of my favorites, Jason Isaacs as Ra's al Ghul, who has done everything from Event Horizon. Have you seen Event Horizon? Oh, God, that's an amazing movie. You'll love it. So we'll put that on our list. Event Horizon, The Patriot, and then probably, as much as I hate the Harry Potter movies, people probably know him as Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I know him.
But overall, like, the cast is great. Like, the animation is out of this world. Like, to me, that's what stood out for this movie, is the crystal clear animation, like the shadows, the choreography. Like, oh God, this movie is like an orgasm for my eyeballs. I love this. I can't.
It was good.
Like, you need to talk about that. I love this movie.
He was worried because he built it up for me that I wasn't gonna like it. I enjoyed it.
So
I enjoyed it.
This is our 8th movie. Before we even started this, like, I had talked to Chucky, and I have known each other for a long time. We're best friends.
Long time.
And I was like, I really want to do the DC movies because I love the DC movies. I watched them.
This was the first one he brought up.
And this was the first fucking one I brought up. I was like, Under the Red Hood. Like, I think it was between Under the Red Hood and The Dark Knight Returns. But I was like, Under the Red Hood is so good. And I was like, to be honest, it's going to take a minute because some of those first movies are a little rough.
I fell asleep watching four of them.
Almost
four
every,
of them.
yeah,
Four of
several
them.
movies.
4 of 8.
We've paused and kept going.
Yeah.
So just, if you're watching, don't be like, oh, he's not even fucking watching them. No, we paused, like, well, because I paused and then...
He'd realized I was asleep.
Yeah. But, like, I have built this movie up and so much, and I'm like, this movie is so good. And even when I saw this, and then I met John DiMaggio at a Comic-Con, and I was like, are you going to do it again? And he's like, oh, the fuck should I know? Like, depends on them if they invite me. I love this movie so much. I've read the comic before. You have not. The comic is very different, to be honest with you. It's actually, it's not, I guess, not super surprising, but to not get too deep into it, I kind of explained the whole, like, a death in the family where Jason Todd dies and people voted. Years later, he comes back. So just a quick side for you, not really so much for them. In the comic, it's actually like this I don't even know. How do you guys describe it? Superboy ends up getting trapped in a bubble and starts breaking reality. And in the process of breaking reality, he accidentally has Jason Todd come back to life. Like, there's nothing to do with Ra's al Ghul or anything.
It just happens.
It just accidentally happens. And so, I mean, it kind of works for the comics, but for this movie to be its own thing... And I watched the special features where, like, Bruce Timm talks about it and everything. And they're like, how do you make a movie where you bring somebody back to life, but keep it in its own... I mean, this movie's like an hour and 20 minutes. How do you keep it in its own little thing? Fuck it. Let's bring Ra's al Ghul in the Lazarus Pit. And to me, it works. It does a really good job. And I love Ra's al Ghul. I think Ra's al Ghul is an underrated villain. Which, as you can, I will say his name as many times as possible because his name is Ra's al Ghul. Whereas you watch, like, Arrow or Gotham, everybody says Ra's al Ghul, and every time they say it, like, I twitch a little bit because his name is Ra's. It's literally Arabic. So, Anyway, that's a whole different bitch. But like for the most part, it's been a minute, like a long minute since I've read the comic. But like the Amazo scene with the android is in the comic. Nightwing's in the comic. I don't remember Black Mask, but I love Black Mask in this movie. Like
he's fucking crazy.
He's batshit crazy.
But I mean,
where he's just fucking decking his people in the face.
And I was like, fuck you and fuck you and fuck you.
But I love him. He's great.
Yeah. And then Joker blasts his whole fucking crew.
And that's the thing that I love about this is, so basically Red Hood is almost like the DC equivalent of the Punisher. He is Batman who is not afraid of the blood. And I mean,
Truth.
And Red Hood is still in the comics today. Like, he has his own comic book. It's like, I think it's Red Hood and the Outlaws or something. But, like, Red Hood's still around.
Is it always Robin now, though?
Yeah, no, it's still Jason Todd as Red Hood. Huh. But for me, what makes this movie is just the Joker. Like, the Joker makes this entire movie. I've said before, Mark Hamill is by far my favorite Joker. Luke Skywalker is the Joker. Like, I hear his voice, I hear his laugh. John DiMaggio does such a good job. And so many of his lines where, like, the three key scenes that stood out for me is the opening scene where he's, like, putting on his hood. And he's like, tell the big man I said hello. And he does so good. There's that one. There's the scene where Black Mask is breaking him out of prison. And he's like, could you get me some water? And he breaks the glass and he kills everybody. He's like, I'm going to need some more guys. But not these guys.
They're dead,
because they're kind of dead. And I'm like, oh my God, he's so good. There's that one. There's the picture scene where he's like, let's do pictures. Let's do you and me. Let's do the boy and me. Let's do one of just the crowbar.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I lose my shit every scene. And then my favorite part of the entire movie is the very end where Red Hood like starts the bomb sequence and Batman goes to shut it down. And so that's the thing about the Joker. And you can go back to the Justice League, you can go back to everything. Is the Joker insane? Yeah. Is he faking it? No. Is he just super smart? Because there's a whole Justice League episode where he's talking to Ace because Ace drives people insane. And he's like, you can't drive me insane because I'm already insane. Yeah. But it turns out he actually has a blocker. So it's like, oh, is he insane or is he just faking it? And he, like, Red Hood's about to blow everybody up and Batman's like, oh no, I can stop this. And he's like, no, let's go down together. I'm going to be the one that gets what I want. Yes, we're all going down as one family. And he's so happy because he's like, fuck everybody. This is it.
They both die.
This is the moment. The three of us. And it's like, oh my God, like he is batshit crazy. Get it? Batshit crazy? And it's like, oh, like it's so good. And John DiMaggio is not holding back. Like, fuck, I love this movie so much. Like, okay, so I love this movie. So
yeah, obviously.
I'm gushing everywhere. I'm like, oh, this movie's great.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I enjoyed the Joker. The Joker was fucking cool. The Red Mask was fucking, he was savage. Mm-hmm. He was a goddamn G.
So I did not like Supernatural. Like, I'm not a big fan of it. I watched the first 5 seasons and then I kind of dipped out. For you, like, years after this movie. I mean, this movie's been out for 10 years. It makes sense that he would have
applied for that role.
Really? Yeah. Okay. I mean, this movie's been out for 10 years. So, for you, like, what did you think about it? Overall, just
I didn't know it was him first.
Oh, there's
I had absolutely no idea.
Okay.
Until you told me, and I was like, wait. Okay. That does sound like him now.
Yes. Okay. So there's that. So what did you think? Because if I could be mistaken, going into this movie, did you even know who Jason Todd was?
No.
No? Okay. And that's fine. That's absolutely... They made this movie for people who did not know who he was. Because that's how they make these movies. If you have to know something before watching it, then they're failing. At least in their opinion. So, to go into it, what did you think learning who Jason Todd was, knowing he died, and knowing his resurrection? Like, do you feel like you have a grasp of his character now?
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good character.
Okay.
Like, arc in a full movie, you know? Like, I mean, for an hour,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Yeah, there was a lot of story they packed in there for how much
and it moves.
other shit they do. Yeah, for sure.
Like,
they do a lot.
To know, like, this movie's roughly an hour long, and it uses its time well.
Yeah.
Because it moves quick. This is one of those, like, oh, a notification goes off on my phone. Oh, fuck, I just missed something big.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, to not bring up other movies, Black Mask is batshit crazy. The Joker's batshit crazy. We see Amazo. Like, of all of these villains, does anybody stand out that, like, you were like, I've never seen that character portrayed this way? I don't even know who that person is. Like, who do you think?
I didn't know who Amazo was.
Okay. Now, see, if, like, the Justice League animated series, Amazo pops up several times.
Okay,
so that's one where it kind of takes advantage of that. And that's fine. So Amazo is basically an android who adapts, like, superhuman powers. So when we first see Amazo, he's completely worthless. Like, he is nothing. Like, you hit him and he knocks down, he's done. But then, like, he sees Superman and he scans him, and now he's strong. He has the laser vision. He has everything. So, okay, so now, like, Green Lantern, or Martian Manhunter's gonna come in. Scans him. Okay, now he's, like, telepathy. Now he can, like, go invisible. And so that's the thing, is he just keeps scanning people and stealing their powers. So, in this movie, they kind of knock him out pretty quick. But if we watch Justice League, like, he's a big villain. Like, he lasts a long time. So this is kind of a different Black Mask than you've ever seen.
Yeah, well, I've only seen the one in the movie I've just watched with him in it.
Right, and he's crazy in this movie. Like,
I felt like he was pretty batshit in that movie.
Well, yeah, but I liked him more in this one. Like, I felt,
Yeah,
I don't know, I liked his
He's
character.
way more naturally crazy, and
Yeah.
like they accentuated it in this a little bit.
And
better.
I love I said before in the beginning of this video, the animation. So, I mean, this is the 8th movie, and
It's just gotten better.
the animation has just gotten better. And, like, I'm not an animator. I have zero artistic ability. So it's difficult for me to put into words. But to just look at the Black Mask and, like, the way he's contoured, the way the shadows work, like, he just pops, and he is so well done.
He also wears that fucking white suit.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I love everything about this movie. I could gush on about it forever. Do you have any other thoughts?
It was pretty fucking good.
It's good. It works.
It's good.
To be honest with you, I don't know if we see the Red Hood again in these movies. I don't know. I can't remember. It'll be a surprise.
Cool.
But if you guys like the comics and stuff, I would highly recommend. Like, he does show up a lot in the comics. So thank you guys. 8 movies in. Like I said, this is easily in my top 5. Probably, like, I want to say in my top 2. Like, this is one of my absolute favorites. So thank you guys for everything. And Chucky and I will see you next time for Superman Batman, the sequel, Apocalypse.
Interesting.